got 45 minutes on the timer. I have to check my food. So, perfect timing. Dunk dunk, dunka honk, dunka honk, poggy, poggy, pog. Oh, load game. We are on that one. That's not the right time. It was 7:09, but whatever. With that, Yuri timidly smiles at me and I return to my seat, put her poem away. We'll show it to Monica because it's just never was too confident. Easy. Hey, Nicholas. Have you thought about what you want to submit to perform at the festival? Well, being in this club is one thing, but performing in front of a bunch of people, I'll have to give it some time, some more thought. Okay, no pressure. But whatever you do, I'm sure it'll turn out great. It will also make me happy to see. Ahaha. Anyway, let's take a look at today's poem. Sure. Let Monica take the poem I'm holding in my hands. Style's gotten so refined, Nicholas. Yuri's been teaching you a lot of things, hasn't she? Well, I guess so. Yeah, I've been noticing how much time you spent with her. I think I heard her say more words to you these past couple of days than she's talked in a whole year. Not sure how you did it, but that's pretty impressive. She just needs some patience and a way to talk about all the things in her head, I guess. I'm getting the hang of it myself. It's really putting in a lot of effort. I really like her. I'm trying to plug my stuff in. That's... Ahahaha. Awfully suspicious, you know. Spending time with her in the club room every day. Reading the edgy novel with her. Well, I just feel bad that she has a hard time socializing. Makes me want to start opening up all my Streamlabs stuff and everything. Makes me want to make sure she doesn't spend all the time alone. Besides, the novel isn't too bad either, you know. Alright. I get you. Just be careful, alright? Know that Yuri isn't used to opening herself up, so if something bad happens while she's vulnerable, it'd be really bad for her. Her books aren't a total escape from reality. They're just a bandage. Say it like I'm going to hurt her. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. If anything, she might accidentally hurt herself. Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright? Alright. The lady who knows everything, an old tales of a lady who wanders Earth. A lady who knows everything, a beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought. And here I am, a feather, lost adrift the sky, victim of the currents of the mind, of the wind. Day after day I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains, the last dim star glimmering in the twilight sky. Until one day the wind ceases to blow, I fall. And I fall and fall, and fall even more. Gentle and as a feather, a dry quill, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger. Hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. Lady who knows everything, knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose. And if we seek only the impossible, I am not your legend does not exist. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. You know, I feel like looking for answers or all sorts of things that give life meaning. Not to get too philosophical or anything, but it kind of was on my mind. So that's what I wrote about. I see. You go over here and close that. Never really put much thought into it. In a way, it's almost paradoxical. Because if we had all the answers, wouldn't the world start to lose its meaning? You know, there's one thing I noticed. It seems like everyone in the club prefers writing about things that are more sad than happy. Aha, are you surprised? I mean, if everything was okay, we wouldn't really have anything to write about, would we? Humans aren't two-dimensional creatures. I think you know that better than anyone. You mean one-dimensional? Ah, yeah, like that. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. But if you find other people enjoy writing, then sharing becomes a lot easier. Instead of just telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they want to focus more on everything that went into it and that the things you can work on. Much more encouraging that way, and it will make you want to continue improving. It's almost like having your own little literature club, don't you think? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Pog poggy pog 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 pog. Sayori. It's nice, I guess. Come on, I can never tell you don't like it. Well, you don't have to worry about what I think. I really wrote this for someone else, didn't you? Probably Yuri. Did I? Kind of just went along with what I was choosing. I didn't write this for anyone specifically. Maybe. It's not really what I meant though. But it's okay. Making new friends was like I was hoping. Makes me really happy. And you're happy too, right? In this club? Well, of course I am. Good. It's all that matters to me. I had a voice for you, didn't I? Thank you, Nicholas. Sayori. Is there something wrong? Huh? No, nothing. A little tired today. Hey. Alright. Just tell me if you need anything. Poggy pug 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 pug. I will. Don't worry about me, okay? You can go play with everyone else now. If you insist. Yeah, I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna go home a little bit early today. Sayori. Monica wasn't feeling well, okay? See you tomorrow. If we're gonna say anything else, Sayori cheerfully walks out of the classroom, humming to herself. Should I send my poem to next? Natsuki. Yeah, no thanks. You didn't even. Next. Okay, you three. We're all done sharing poems, right? Why don't we start figuring out... Hold on a second, just me, or did you say something strange just now? Yeah, something did sound a bit unusual. That's right, you deviated from your usual catchphrase while addressing the club. Catchphrase? I don't have a catchphrase. Jeez. Why is the mood so weird today? Look, even Yuri isn't immune to it. Ugh. Stagnating air is coming foreshadowing that something terrible is about to happen. In your books, maybe. Look, the only thing different is that Siri isn't here. Ah, seems you're right. Sigh. I may just kill the voice. Siri always helps lighten the mood a little bit, doesn't she? Mostly everyone's balance is thrown off a little when she's not around. What the heck did she run off to anyway? I thought she just went to pee. Suki, please show some decency. Oh, come on. I actually wasn't feeling too well and went home early. If that's so? Oh, she's alright, seriously? All the time not to go home with her, you pick the time she's not feeling well? With you two being all lovey-dovey. Ah, nah. First of all, stop misunderstanding my friendship with Sayori. And second, you've kind of been avoiding me today, so I didn't want to force it. Oh, curious expression coming from Yuri of all people. Calm down, guys. I talked to her earlier and everything is fine. What'd she say? Anyway, we need to figure out the rest of the festival preparations, so let's decide what everyone will be doing this weekend. I already know what I'm doing. That's right, Natsuki will be making cupcakes. But we might need a lot of them in different flavors. Can you know that all by yourself, Natsuki? And challenge accepted. And as for myself, I'm going to be printing and assembling all the poetry pamphlets. Siri will be helping me design them. And as for Yuri, you can, guys, can you help me come up with something for Yuri? I'm useless. No, not at all. You're the most talented person here, you know. And now Natsuki's pouting too. Geez, even I can tell now. I never give Yuri enough credit, but I can tell things are even harder on you when she's not around. That may be the case. But I can't help be a leader on my own, and I won't grow as a person. So, Yuri, you have beautiful handwriting, you know. So you should make some banners and decorations to help set the atmosphere. Atmosphere? About that. I love atmosphere. Yuri's expression suddenly changes as she stares at her desk and focuses and starts nodding to herself. Mine's already racing, I'd see. That's great. Be wonderful help, Yuri. But anyway, it leaves you, Nicholas. One who's truly useless. Don't say that. In fact, both Natsuki and Yuri have pretty heavy tasks to handle. It'd probably go a long way to give one of them a hand. Always help me out as well. Be really appreciative of that. It's Monica suggesting I spend the weekend with one of my club members. How on earth are they going to respond to a session like that? I suppose I wouldn't mind a little bit of help. Well, even if you don't know how to bake, there's always some dirty work I could give to you. Like Monica's going to give me a choice, and you shouldn't be sitting on your butt anyway. Natsuki tries to mumble a bunch of excuses like that. If I recall, Natsuki, you mentioned that you would like to handle the baking on your own. Nicholas may not like to be around if you only make him out to be a nuisance, so therefore, may be more suited to assisting with the decorations. Hold on, I never said that. How hard could it be to make a few decorations anyway? That's more like you're just making an excuse for Nicholas to. Well, what are you saying? It would be extremely meticulous work. And baking isn't. What do you think? Guys, let's settle down for a moment. In the end, I think it's up to Nicholas to decide how he wants to contribute. Besides, he hasn't really gotten a chance to spend any time with me yet, you know? So I'm sure he's interested in. You literally just said. I'm surprised as well. Sorry. I'm just saying though. Jeez, can we just settle down? Settle this already? Yeah, Nicholas, are you okay with this, right? It's up to you. Of course. Humph. Very well. In that case, everyone looks straight at me. Since we're kind of already been committed to Yuri, we'll just like knock her story out. Cause we gotta do each story, right? To unlock all the side stuff. So we'll just stick to Sayori, or is it Yuri? I'll probably be most useful helping Yuri. Me? Are you serious? Why would you? Natsuki? I already tell you're about to say something mean. No. I was just saying, ugh. Here, I'm looking at the achievements too. Like, I need to write the perfect poem for each person. You helping Yuri then, Nicholas? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm glad. I have a bad habit of overthinking these sorts of things. I think your assistance will be very useful. It's great to hear. Natsuki, will you be able to handle the baking yourself? I mean, yeah. I already said I would be fine. Okay. Everyone can tell that Natsuki is feeling a little sour. So that everything we needed to go over? Yeah, that should be about it. You guys excited? Well, excited may not be the right word. Suppose I'm looking forward to it a little bit. Do you feel the same way, Nicholas? Me? But you could say I'm interested to see how it'll turn out. Good enough for me. What about you, Natsuki? Natsuki? What? Why's everyone yelling at me? I didn't even do anything. No, that's not what I meant at all. Yuri actually glances between everyone in the room. I'm sorry for this, I didn't really know when it picked me. And also, your cupcakes are the best cupcakes I've ever had. They go really well with my tea. Nothing that I do for the event will compare to that, so, I get it. I'm kind of surprised though. Why? I'm acting immature. I already know that, but you're trying to cheer me up all of a sudden. No, I'm not very good at it. I'm sorry if I said anything bad. Suki isn't the only one surprised. Monica and I are also taken back by Yuri's words. When she already has trouble with words, trying to cheer someone up must be far out of her own comfort zone. I begin to understand. Yuri was trying to sound like Sayori. Even if it didn't work out perfectly, I can tell if she tried to say something Sayori would say at a time like this. Because Sayori always helps everyone smile and feel good about themselves. No, I kinda appreciated it. I'm sorry for making a big deal out of nothing. I'm going to say this. You better bet that my cupcakes are going to be the best part of the whole event. I believe you. Yeah, I hope to see everyone do their best. But with that, nothing more for today. I guess it's time for us to head out. Alright, let's get out of here then. After everyone packs up their things, start to follow Monica and Natsuki at the door. They can as they chat between each other. Turn around. Sorry, I realized I don't really have a way of contacting you this weekend. Oh, you're right. I can't believe that slipped my mind. Give you my phone number? I think that would be the best of way, yes? Alright then. You and I exchange phone numbers. Okay. And I'll be stopping by your house on Sunday. My house? Is that a problem? No, not at all. I just thought that I would be the one going to your house instead of the one helping you. I suppose that would make sense, but if you don't mind, I think I'd prefer going to your house. Alright, in that case it won't be a problem. I did not depress you for a reason, the reason. I don't think it should matter much either way. I just need to make sure my room is clean. I managed to make myself useful in some way. I'm not really as creative as you are. Don't underestimate yourself, Nicholas. I think that will make a very productive team. Even if you only choose me because you felt bad or something. Wait, you don't actually think that, do you? I don't know. It's difficult to come up with any other reason you may have chosen me. Creating the one reason with the most common sense. Chose to help you because that's what I want to do. But Yuri thinks to herself with an extremely tense expression. Yuri, you're overthinking this. You wanted me to point out when you're overthinking, right? I didn't realize. I'm telling you. I wanna. That's all there is to it. Do you believe me? Yuri thinks really hard again. Looked straight into my eyes for a long while. I believe you. As if it took her tremendous effort, Yuri finally says that and relaxes her expression. I'm really looking forward to Sunday. Yeah, I am too. After the exchange, I make my way out the door and Yuri follows. Can't believe this. Yuri's going to be coming to my house on Sunday. My anxiety shoots through the roof. Even though I've gotten pretty used to handling her at this point, no telling what might end up happening if we're outside of school. More than that, she told me she was looking forward to it, and that's the case. Is this a chance to have something happen between us, or is it too early for that? Only time will tell, but until then, I'll be able to take my mind off of it. Seriously, can't wait. Dunka dunka hunka dunka dunk. It's already Sunday. I'm getting increasingly anxious about Yuri's upcoming visit. Telling myself is not a reason to be nervous, but it doesn't help much. Yuri's clearly an introvert and also an intimate person in general. No doubt that she'll open up a little bit when it's just the two of us. Meanwhile, we've been texting occasionally. She was extremely apprehensive at first, but it wasn't long before I was already learning more about her. Putting Yuri aside, I haven't heard a thing from Yuri since she left the club early the other day. Not like we text each other all the time or anything. But I've been worried about her in the back of my mind. Between what Sayuri said and what Monica said. Really okay for me to put Sayuri's feeling aside when she needs me. I decided to visit Sayuri before Yuri comes over. Rather than asking her to simply tell her I'm coming over, much like we've done in the past. Once I reached Sayuri's house, knocked on the door and before entering it myself. Again, we use the place so often that I made it a habit of simply entering each other's houses like we're family. House is quiet, Sayuri isn't anywhere on the first floor, so I assume she's in her room. Already strange of her not to run down and greet me. Head to her bedroom, where I finally find her. Sayuri? Hey, Nicholas. Sit down in her room. Sayuri forces a smile, but it's easy to tell she's different. There's silence between us. Silence. You haven't come over like this in a long time, have you? Yeah, I guess you're right. Been a long time. Not much has really changed, has it? Sayuri's room is as messy as it's always been. I also recognize the same stuffed animals and wall decorations that she's had for years now. If you came over more often, it wouldn't be such a mess. That's because I end up cleaning it up for you. You suddenly wanted to come over today. Aren't you supposed to see Yuri today? Yeah, but... Wait, how'd you know that? Yuri has already left by the time we decided the last meeting. Monica told me. It's only natural for her to keep me informed as about the festival preparations, you know? Right? Yeah, that's true. What about you? Aren't you going to be helping Monica today? Of course. I'm just helping her online. We didn't plan to meet up or anything. Just me and Yuri then, huh? Yep. More silence between us. Yuri stares in a random direction. Everything about her behavior is really uncharacteristic. Finally get to the point. I just wanted to see how you were doing. After you left Friday, when something's wrong, you can't hide it from me. I know you too well. So, Sayuri smiles, shaking her head. That's no good, Nicholas. Eh? Why can't it just be like it's always been? This is all my fault if I didn't get so weak and accidentally express my feelings. If I didn't make this stupid mistake, you wouldn't have been worried about me at all. You wouldn't have come here. You wouldn't have even been thinking about me right now. But this is just my punishment, right? Isn't it? I'm getting punished for being so selfish. I think that's why the world decided to have you come over today. Just wants to torture me. Yeah. Sayuri. Grab Sayuri by the shoulders. What on earth are you saying? Are you listening to yourself right now? I know something's happening to you. I know something happened to you. No other explanation for you to be like this. Tell me already. Until I know, I won't be able to stop thinking about it. Sayuri gives me a smile. Really put me into a trap, Nicholas. But you're wrong. Nothing happened to me. I've always been like this. You're just seeing it for the first time. Seeing what? What are you talking about, Sayuri? You're really just gonna make me say it, aren't you, Nicholas? I have no choice this time. The thing is, really bad depression all my life. Did you know that? Why do you think I'm late to school every day? Because most days I can't find a reason to get out of bed. What reason is it there to do anything when I fully know how worthless I am? Why go to school? Why eat? Why make friends? Why make other people put their energy in carrying it to waste by having them spend it on me? That's what it feels like. That's why I just want to make everyone happy, without anyone worrying about me. I'm in shock. Can't even figure out how to respond. How is it possible that Sayuri kept this from me the entire time that I've known her? Really want so badly for me to just not think about her? Why, Sayuri? Why is it that you've never told me about this? Almost feels like I've been betrayed as your close friend. Because if I knew, I would have done everything I could to support you. Even if there is only so much I could do, I would have tried a little bit harder to make every day a little bit better for you. That's why I'm your friend. All you have to do is tell me. You don't understand it all, Nicholas. Why do you think I didn't tell you? Because if I told you, then you would have to waste effort caring about me instead of doing important things. I didn't want to be cared about. It's bittersweet when people try to care about me. It feels nuts sometimes. Also feels like a bat being swung against my head. This is why I wanted so badly for you to make friends with everyone else. Everyone helping be happy together is the best thing for me. But then I discovered something else too. Seeing you make friends and get closer with everyone in the club feels like a spear going through my heart. And that's why I decided the world just wants to torture me. Every path leads to nothing but hurt. You're right that I don't understand. I don't understand your feelings at all, Sayuri. But I don't need to understand. Whatever it takes for me to help you stop hurting, that's what I'll do. No, Nicholas, there's nothing. Nothing at all. Only thing you could have helped is if everything could be like it always was. But I was selfish. I finally showed you what a horrible person I am. Tears streaked down Silver's face. I made you join the literature club because I was selfish. And I was punished by my heart hurting in a way that I couldn't understand. And now you come here and I made you hurt too. I'm just weak and selfish. That's all I am, and that's why I'm going to accept its punishments. Because I deserve every last one. Without thinking, I once again grabbed Sayori's shoulders. It's time to pull her into a tight embrace. Aha, Nicholas. Sorry. I don't care if you feel selfish. I'm really happy that you convinced me to join the club. Seeing you every day makes it worthwhile enough. Make friends with everyone else, that's just a bonus. But please never underestimate how much I care about you. I wouldn't have it any other way. Nicholas, Sayori isn't hugging me back. But my arms being wrapped around her, Sayori's arms remain on her sides. You're sobbing into my ear. No, don't do this to me. Please don't do this, Nicholas. Sayori barely manages to speak between her sobs. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but all I want for her to know is that I care. Even you're ready to call yourself selfish, and you have to let me be selfish too. No matter what it takes, I'll figure out what needs to change. Make these feelings go away. And nothing else. If there's anything else that you need me to do, then you better tell me. I'll get mad if you don't. I don't know. Feeling Sayori finally puts her arms around me in return. I don't know anything. It's all really scary. I don't understand any of my feelings, Nicholas. Only time I've been feeling nothing is when I'm in pain. Feeling pain. But your hugs are so warm, and that's really scary too. Sayori lets me go. As she does, so I would go as well. Festival is tomorrow? Yeah. It's going to be fun, right? Yeah. How would you like for me to spend all How would you like it for me to spend all my time with you? That is what I want. I promise. I think that would be nice then. Yeah? Sayori wipes her eyes. If I could spend every day, if I could spend the whole day here, I would. Of all days, this has to be the one where I have other plans. Maybe I should cancel. No, don't. Please don't. If you did that, then I wouldn't forgive you. But it's almost time for you to meet me at my house. At the very least, do you want to come over and help out? It would be fun. To my surprise, Sayori shakes her head. I'm sorry. I don't know if that would be good for me today. You understand, right? It's kind of hard for me to fully understand, but I'm trying my hardest. It's okay. Don't worry too much about it. See you tomorrow, okay? Alright. I look forward to it. Say goodbye to Sayori next to her house. On the way home, I found myself still feeling uneasy. But it's hard for me to keep thinking about it when Yuri is about to come over, too. I think Sayori is right. I shouldn't be worrying too much, and we're definitely going to have a great time tomorrow. Just focus on what's ahead of me. As I approach my house, there's something that makes me feel a moment of panic. Yuri? Thank goodness. You're a little early. I'm sorry I wasn't home yet. Were you waiting for a long time? No, I just got here. I started to get really nervous when nobody answered the doorbell. You always could have texted me. If I had known, I would have reassured you and hurried on my way home more. What? Or would have hurried more on my way home. Yeah, I suppose that's true. I didn't think of that, for some reason. It should be common sense to do that, but I decided to ignore it. Anyway, let's go inside. See, you brought a lot of stuff with you. That's right. And you did manage to find everything I asked you to buy as well? Yeah, pretty much. At least I hope I got everything right. I'm sure it'll be fine. I take Yuri to my room. First thing she does is glance around curiously, which makes me feel anxious. It's so clean. I cleaned my before you came over, so very considerate of you to do. No, I would be really embarrassed if for my room to be a mess while you were here. Well, I do enjoy cleaning. I would have gladly helped you clean. That'd be even more embarrassing. Wait, don't look in there. I snatched Yuri's wrist, which was in the process of opening the desk drawer of mine. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking for some reason. I was just spacing out. It's fine. I let go of Yuri's wrist. She puts both of her hands firmly in her lap, as if making sure she's keeping track of them. So, should we get started? Yes. I have a few things planned that you can help with. Decorations and all the atmospheric enhancements. You know, mood lighting, aromatherapy candles. Oh wow. I didn't know you planned on taking it that far. Of course. I want to help take our guests to a faraway place, although many will stop by just out of curiosity. And for cupcakes, I guess. I'm determined to provide an experience that will leave them wanting more. That's great. Easy to forget that you're a pretty intense person. Intense? That's the best way to put it. That a bad thing? No, not at all. Something that I like about you, actually. Is that so? Makes me feel relieved. And kind of happy. Yeah, no need to be so anxious. You can relax a little. Relax. I brought some things for relaxation. Tea? Going to use them during the poetry event. Oh yeah, like what? Methamphetamine. Yuri rummages through her bag, pulls out a few candles and a wooden cylinder-shaped object. I did some shopping on the way here, so I happen to have these in my bag. I plan to cover the windows in the black paper and use the candles to light the room. This would be amazing, don't you? That would be really neat. What's the wooden thing, though? Oh, this? This is a diffuser for essential oils. How familiar are you with aromatherapy? Not familiar at all. Ah, is that so? One of my favorite contributions to a positive atmosphere. Contributors. Depending on the oils and herbs you choose the mood of the air itself. You can even feel it permeate through your body. Relaxation, positive energy, romance, reflection. Almost magic. Yuri takes the cylinder and pushes a switch on the bottom. In just a moment, a thin ray of vapor begins to sprout through the small hole in the top. Wow, this smells wonderful. What kind of mood is that one for? Mustard gas. This is jasmine essential oil. Smells a little sweet and flowery, right? That's a good way to describe it. I chose jasmine for the event because it provides more than relaxation. Jasmine enhances your emotions and helps you feel the flow through your body. You feel warmer, and your heart pounds more heavily. Don't you think that would be perfect for sharing our poems? It does sound suitable, but you seem to know a lot about this, so I'll trust your opinion with anything. Yuri smiles gently, clearly enjoying herself. She again reaches into her bag and pulls out several spools of their thin ribbon. What are those for? Well, did you purchase the origami paper I asked you to get? Yeah, I got it over here. You won't be using the paper for folding origami. What I like to do is write a different word in each paper. There's about 100 of them. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh yeah? What would those be used for? I'm going to cut pieces of ribbon to hang them from the doorway of the classroom. Then we can fasten the paper onto the ribbons to create a doorway curtain. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Also catch the eye of those passing by the room. It may attract some to peek inside. It's really creative. I had no idea you would be so good at this, Yuri. Is that so? Well, it's supposed to do get a little intense, as you put it. Yuri giggles with red cheeks. Is it just me, or is she being more relaxed when just the two of us? Maybe it's the excitement she feels for sharing something that she enjoys. Here's a marker, Nicholas. You can write any characters you want. I'll help you once I finish cutting these ribbons. Alright. Sitting on the floor together, the two of us get to work. Carefully draw a different character on each paper, doing my best to manage my bad handwriting. Master Chief. Yuri unravels a long stand of red ribbon to her desired length. Then she reaches into her bag once more and pulls out a pocket knife. Knife is strangely beautiful. Silver handle has an intricate pattern of waves etched into it. The blade itself is gently tinted blue. It's an ordinary pocket knife. It was really fancy. Well. Embarrassed, Yuri looks away. What is it? No one think it's weird. Yuri, whatever it is, I have no reason to judge. To each their own, you know. If you promise you won't be weirded out. Yeah, I promise. Alright. The thing is, I'm kind of into knives. They're just so pretty. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. Combination of craftsmanship and feeling of danger, maybe? What am I saying? Please don't think I'm weirded for this. Ahaha. You're laughing at me. No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just funny how nervous she gets by sharing. It's an interesting thing to be into, I guess. But I think it kind of suits you. Suits me? Yeah, it's kind of intense, ahaha. Besides, it's a really cool looking knife. I can't deny that. It is, isn't it? Yuri relaxes her expression, once again. Would you like to hold it? Sure, I'll check it out. Yuri carefully hands me the knife, with the handle facing me. Take it and turn it around in my hands. Feels heavy and extremely solid. Where do you even get a knife like this? Curious of its sharpness, I feel the point of the knife on my index finger. Ow! Nicholas! Why did you do that? I didn't want it to be that sharp. I barely touched it at all. It's all my fault. I should have warned you. Knife is extremely sharp. You're really overreacting over like a little finger prick. It can cut through skin like it's paper. Oh no. A small drop of blood trickles down the side of my finger. Yuri takes my hand and gives me the wound a closer look. Stares at it and noticeably fidgets. If you're squeamish, I'll go wash it off now. Without wording, Yuri puts my finger into her mouth and licks the wound. I feel her tongue curl around my finger. Startled, I instinctively pulled my hand back. Oh, please forgive me. I wasn't thinking. It's payback for the candy. Yuri lowers her head, her face burning up. Yuri. The most embarrassing thing I've ever done. Could I do something like that? Yeah, but this man just fed you candy. Second day you met you. I'm sorry. Sure, it was a little weird, and took me by surprise. I guess she was just trying to help, right? I think you're overreacting a little. Ooh. Doesn't lift your head. What if she doesn't recover from this for the rest of the afternoon? Alright, you know what? This might be a stupid thing to do, but I do it anyway. I take Yuri's hand and lick the index finger in return. Why? Nicholas, did you really just do that? Now we're even. Yuri just looks at me like I did something wrong. I knew that would be a bad idea. Now for the sweet aroma of jasmine oil, the air would be extremely heavy right now. It's so weird, Nicholas. Yuri giggles shyly. Eh? Yuri calling me weird? I have no response to that. Where do you keep your bandages? I don't think I need one really. Just a tiny cut. Like you way overreacted. Look, it's already stopped bleeding. I see. That's relieving. Tension is quickly lifted. We each resume our respective activities. I watch Yuri's knife cut through the ribbon like it's nothing at all. Meanwhile, I continue to make progress on the paper. After we finish attaching the paper to the ribbons, we lay them all out on the side by side. Lay them all out side by side. Looks better than I expected, and will be very effective as a door curtain. Looks great. Good thinking coming up with this, Yuri. Thanks. Just something I saw online, really. Are you ready to move on to the next task? Yeah, let's do it. Let's cream it, man. What you have in mind? I'd like to create a banner. That's why I asked you to buy the paint tablets. I see a lot of ask me to buy this, ask me to buy that. What'd you buy? Oh, that's right. One of the items that Yuri had asked me to buy was a kit of watercolor paint tablets. Need about 6 cups of water to put each of the tablets in. Do you mind fetching those for us? Of course not. 6 cups of water. I'll be right back in a minute. Thank you very much. Oh, and just a little bit of water is okay. If you fill the cups too much, it'll be too diluted. I don't think we never actually had arts and crafts in kindergarten. Taking Yuri's advice, I decided to use small plastic bathroom cups rather than full-size glasses. Put them on a plate to catch any paint that drips. Then bring it back to my room. Yuri? Yes. Coming to see Yuri quickly unrolling her sleeve, putting him back on over her arm. Oh, nothing. Face is a little red. Is it hot in here or anything? No, not at all. There's nothing wrong, so let's mix the paint. Yuri hurriedly dismisses me, takes it upon herself to unwrap the tablets, dropping them into cups. So, that we would do something simple that would look very nice. Let the paint a gradient across the banner, starting with the colors from sunrise, then daytime, and sunset, and nighttime. Once it dries, I'll write an inspirational quote across the banner. You can hang it on the wall behind the podium at the front of the classroom. Ah, neat. What do you want to write? Well, it'll be more fun to surprise you. Drink your Ovaltine. Yuri smiles at me. If you say so. After rolling out the banner, Yuri and I kneel on opposite sides so we don't get in the way of each other. Yuri uses the brush and adds a few dots of different colors across the banner to serve as a color guide when we paint. Kind of reminds me of elementary school. Painting on a banner with watercolors, it feels like a lot of the art class projects we had back then. It's relaxing. I'm sorry if it feels too childish. No, I didn't mean it like that. Kind of fun, you know? Yeah, it is fun. But you feel that way too. Yuri stops painting for a moment, thinking to herself. For me? I don't need to go out and do crazy things to have fun. In fact, I usually don't even want to. I just like to, when I can spend time with one other person. Even if it's something simple like reading, it doesn't even matter if we don't talk too much. Just having a friend next to me makes things feel a little bit better, a little bit nicer. And it's all it takes for me to be happy. Is that so? Even if Yuri and I are quite different, I can understand where she's coming from. With the way about things like anime and games, simply sharing an experience with someone can make me happy. I feel the same way. Yuri smiles gently. I know you'd understand. Yuri leans over the banner to grab the unused paintbrush. But I move at the same time, causing my head to bump into hers. Kia! Sorry. Yuri reels back and I quickly lift my head in surprise. Are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt. It just startled me, that's all. Sorry, I should have asked you to get it for me. It's not your fault. Ah, your face. Droplets of paint on Yuri's face and neck. Something on my face? Yeah, I actually got paint on you. Sorry, it's totally my fault. I get a towel right away. Rush out and fetch a small towel, then I dampen it with hot water. Turn to my room and kneel back down in front of her. Dunka 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 hunka dunka. Here. I pat down Yuri's face and neck with the towel. Something wrong? It's hot, I didn't expect that. Sorry. I didn't want you to use cold water. Having finished, I started to retract my hand. Yuri suddenly holds my wrist. Wait. Just for a little longer. Feels really nice. Keep my hand still against Yuri's neck. Looks into my eyes. Intense expression that I recognize from when she reads her books. Almost as if she's lost in a daze, enveloped by her own thoughts. Breathes gently, half through slightly parted lips. What is happening? Is the aroma of the jasmine oil giving me this dizzy feeling? Very gentle fingers wrapped around my wrist, sending a tingling sensation through my arm. Suddenly, her face seems to be much closer to mine than it was just a minute ago. Yuri suddenly pulls away. Sorry, I've been feeling a little lightheaded today. I didn't mean to space out. It's fine. The moment is over as soon as it began. Yuri picks up her brush again, but her movements seem clumsier, like she's unable to focus. I remain silent, forced to ignore the events that just transpired. Hesitantly retrieve my own brush and continue following Yuri's example. That should do it. I finished filling the night sky with white dots that look like stars. Looking at the banner as a whole, it's very pretty and natural looking. I think it came out better than I expected. Really happy with your results. Yeah, me too. Are you going to add the lettering now? Not yet. I need to dry first. That's true, but won't it take a while? Well, perhaps it would be best to leave it here and then have you bring it in the morning. I can do the lettering in the classroom before the event starts. That okay? That's totally fine. Wonderful. In that case, I don't think there's anything more for us to do here. Phew. Your lecture lab is over. Was I wrong to assume that you were enjoying yourself a little bit? No, it's not that. I'm just glad that we managed to get everything done. I see. I am too. A little concerned about the time. I need to start making dinner now. So you don't have any time left? Secretly hoping we'd have a little extra time into finishing the work. Well, Yuri thinks to herself, I think it would be too irresponsible for me to wait much longer. I'm sorry. Hoping there would be more time as well. Probably my fault. Sorry for being such a slow worker. No, it's not your fault at all. And the important thing is that we both got everything done, right? Yeah. So, shouldn't be disappointed or anything. Gathering all her things, Yuri seems a little downcast. I understand why. Kinda like she rarely gets the opportunity to spend time with friends in a relaxed environment. Doesn't that mean this is the last time it could happen? It doesn't mean this is the last time it could happen. As Yuri packs up, I walk her out the front door. Thank you very much for having me today. No problem, I'm glad I was able to help. Just let me know if there's anything else you need me to bring tomorrow. I will. Well then. Yuri fidgets. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, kind of shy that without thinking. Not today. It's fine that we didn't have much time as we wanted, because we can do it again. Whenever you want, you can come over, we can just go out somewhere. And I forget you didn't like going out that much. Stumble over my words, Yuri simply smiles bashfully. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, so you're very thoughtful, Nicholas. Yuri takes a step closer to me and then briefly squeezes my hand. I don't like that about you. Can you back up a little bit? Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? I didn't even get a chance to as Yuri suddenly pulls back. This is Sayori. Eh? Hi, Nicholas. Sayori. Just now we weren't. It's okay, Nicholas. I just stopped by to say hi. Well, it's nice to see you. I'm sorry, but I'm already on my way to leave. Aw, really? That's too bad. I'm sorry. We'll all be together in the festival tomorrow, so that's fine, right? Of course. Sayori beams. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. Clearly embarrassed, Yuri huddles off. Sayori waves goodbye after her. Sayori, I thought you didn't want to come over today. Well. Try staying in my room. My imagination was being really mean to me. I'd come over and see for myself. See what? What are you talking about? You know, how much fun you were having with Yuri. How close you got to her. It makes me really happy that you made such good friends. It's all that matters to me. Tears start to roll down Sayori's face. It's all that matters to me. Why am I feeling this way, Nicholas? I'm supposed to be happy for you. Why does I feel like my heart's splitting in half? Hurts so much. Everything hurts so much. It'd be so much better if I could just disappear. Sayori, don't say that. It's true, Nicholas. If I wasn't here, then you wouldn't have to waste your sympathy on me. You wouldn't have to put up with me being selfish. Monica was right. I shouldn't just... Monica? Monica was right about what? Sayori. What I said before is true. I'm not going to let this continue. Caring about you like this isn't the burden your mind is making it out to be. Something that makes me happy. Something that I wouldn't trade for anything else. Even if it takes the entire lifetime, I'm going to be by your side until you don't feel any more pain. But, Siri looks away. I put a hand on her shoulder to reassure her. I'm scared, Nicholas. I'm really scared. What are you scared of, Sayori? I'm scared that I might like you more than you like me. Sayori? It's true, isn't it? I was weak and started to like you too much. I did this to myself. Nicholas, I like you so much that I want to die. That's how I feel, and that's enough, Sayori. I don't want you to hurt anymore. I put my hand down Sayori's arm and squeeze her hand on my own. Do you remember how I said I would always know what's best for you? Do you still believe me? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Even if you don't understand all your own feelings, I know what you need the most right now. And that's what I'm going to give to you. Always be my dearest friend. Sayori, you always been my dearest friend. What you need most is for the things to be like they've always been. Monica told me the truth. Told me how much happier you seemed after I joined the club. I know you're struggling with some really difficult feelings right now, but please trust me that I know what's best and what will make you happy in the end. I promise I'll help you get things back to the way they were. I see. Sayori forces a smile through her incredibly pained expression. Ah, this is what it feels like to get stabbed in the chest. I should write a poem about this. Sayori, it's okay. This is my punishment, remember? Being so selfish. So please don't worry about these stupid feelings. I know you're right. I knew this whole time that there's no happiness down this path. That's why I came here. Just so I could get the answer I needed to hear. And the other thing? Also right about just wanting to get back to the way it was. I realize that now. You do know me better than anyone, Nicholas. I'll just trust you with anything. Anything at all. So, Sayori's smile finally breaks. All of a sudden, she turns around and drops to her knees. Aha! Clutching her head with both hands, she screams as loudly as she can. I'm so shocked I don't know how to react. Sayori looks over her shoulder and flashes me with a one-weak smile before turning around and running off. Sayori. Left helplessly standing in the front of my house. Why am I feeling so horrible about this? Something more than I could have done. The most I can do is support Sayori through her feelings and help her on the path that's right. I'm having as much trouble understanding Sayori's feelings as she is. Even though I can comfort her, I keep wondering if I should be doing something more or something different. But these thoughts will continue to plague me until things are back to the way they were. I'm going to give it everything I've got. Sayori will always be my dearest friend, and I'll do whatever it takes to put a smile on her face every day. Day of the festival? Of all days, I expected this to be the one where I'd be walking to school with Sayori. Sayori isn't answering her phone. I decided to go into her house to wake her up, but decided that there's a little too much. That's a little too much. Meanwhile, the preparations for the event should be nearly complete. The banner Yuri and I painted this drawing, and I gently rolled it up to take it with me. Sent me a pleasant text reminding me not to forget anything, and I reassured her. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way I probably feel the same way as Nasuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over, so I can spend time with Sayuri and Yuri at the festival. Knowing Monica, I'm sure the event will be great too. Nicholas, you're the first one here. Thanks for being early. That's funny, I thought at least Yuri would be here by now. Monica is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. They'll be the ones she prepared to have all the poems that we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monica would like, and submitted it. That's the one I'll be performing. Surprised you didn't bring Sayuri with you. Yeah, she overslept again. That dummy. I think that one day that's important, try a little harder. I say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayuri told me yesterday. Doesn't it feel awful knowing it's not really this simple for her? I only said it because it was the way I'm used to thinking. But maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all. Take a little responsibility for her, Nicholas. I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging in this morning, you know? Exchange? Monica, you knew about that? Of course I do. I'm the club president after all. But, I stammered, embarrassed. Did Sayuri really tell her about that quickly? How I basically turned her down, about how I basically turned down her confession? Makes me really seem like the bad guy here. But I'm the one who knows what's best for her, right? Jeez. You don't know the full story at all, so don't worry. Probably know a lot more than you think. Monica is being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I feel a chill down my spine after hearing that. Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? It came out really nice. Yeah, sure. I need to check my food. Save game. I'll be right back.